Have you ever felt like this? That burning feeling of inspiration, a wave of motivation, so powerful that you feel like you can conquer the world. You set a goal. You make a plan. You tell yourself, this time, it will be different. You start strong. For a day, maybe a week, you are an unstoppable machine. But then, something changes. The fire begins to die. The initial excitement fades, and in its place comes a painfully familiar feeling: resistance. What once seemed fun now feels like a burden. Your bed in the morning feels a little warmer. Excuses start to creep in. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start again tomorrow. And before long, you're back where you started, stuck in the same cycle of frustration, wondering why you can't stick to the change. You ask yourself, what's wrong with me? I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. The problem is that we've been taught to believe a lie. That lie is that motivation is the key to achieving our goals. On today's journey, we'll explore a deeper truth, one that draws from the wisdom of James Clear, author of the groundbreaking bestseller Atomic Habits. That truth is, motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes. Discipline is a system. It's something you do regardless of how you feel. Together, we'll unpack why relying on motivation is a recipe for failure, and how building self-discipline is the real key to achieving meaningful, lasting goals. This isn't about forcing yourself or punishing yourself. It's about understanding how the human mind works and building a system that makes success almost inevitable. Are you ready to break free from the cycle and build a life based on consistency, not emotion? Let's get started. Imagine an archer. Archer. A is obsessed with the target. He stares at the bullseye, visualizing the arrow hitting it perfectly. His entire focus is on the end result. Archer B, on the other hand, is focused on something else. She's focused on her system. She's focused on her footwork, the way she holds the bow, the breath she takes as she draws the bowstring, the smooth motion of releasing the arrow. She knows that if she executes her system perfectly, the arrow will find its way to the target. This is the core of one of James Clear's most powerful ideas. You don't rise to the height of your target. You fall to the level of your system. We've all been Archer A at some point. We set big goals: lose 20 pounds, write a book, start a business. These goals give us a moment of excitement, a hit of dopamine. But goals are fleeting events. You achieve them, and then what? Or worse, you don't achieve them and feel like a failure. Focusing solely on goals creates an all-or-nothing mentality. Either you succeed or you fail. It creates an enormous amount of pressure that makes the journey stressful instead of enjoyable. Clear invites us to become Archer B. Instead of obsessing about winning the game, focus on staying in the game. What is your system? It's the set of daily habits, the processes that get you to the results you want. If you're a writer, your system isn't the goal of publishing a book. Your system is writing 500 words a day. If you're a runner, your system isn't running a marathon. Your system is to put on your running shoes and get out the door 4 times a week, rain or shine. Why is this so much more effective? Because it shifts the focus from a future outcome that you have no control over to a process in the present that you can control. You can't control whether you lose 1 keys this week, but you can control whether you walk for 30 minutes today. Every time you implement your system, you are casting a vote for future success. You are building confidence in yourself. You are creating a series of small victories, and those small victories, repeated over time, will produce extraordinary results. This is the power of compound interest in self-improvement. So ask yourself, what is your goal? And more importantly, what system will get you there? Stop staring at the distant goal and start focusing on the steps you can take today. Because victory is not about reaching the finish line. It is about loving the process of running. We've talked about replacing goals with systems, but there's a deeper layer, one so powerful that it can completely change how you approach discipline. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. Let's look at the 3 levels of change. The outermost level is changing your outcome. This is your goal. Lose weight, publish a book. The next level is changing your process. This is your system. Change your eating habits. Write a daily journal. But the core, the deepest level, is changing your identity. This is about changing your beliefs about yourself. Many of us try to change from the outside in. We start with what we want to achieve. But the most effective approach is from the inside out. It starts with who we want to become. Think about this difference. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to write a book. The goal is to become a writer. When a habit becomes embedded in your identity, it ceases to be a chore. It becomes an act of self-affirmation. You don't have to go running. You go running because that's who you are. You are a runner. You don't try to eat healthy. You eat healthy because you are a healthy person who values your body. Every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you want to be. When you choose a salad over French fries, you're voting for, I am a healthy person. When you sit down to write, even for 10 minutes, you're voting for, I am a writer. These small votes, accumulated over time, will reinforce your new identity. Motivation is no longer necessary because doing the right thing is simply acting in accordance with who you are. It's like an act of self-respect. So how do you get started? With a simple 2-step process. First, decide what kind of person you want to be. Don't just think about results. Think about characteristics. Do you want to be a consistent person? Someone who never misses a workout? Someone who keeps their promises to themselves? Second, prove it to yourself with small victories. Don't try to revolutionize your life overnight. Just start casting small votes. If you want to be a reader, don't set a goal of reading 50 books. Just read 1 page. Cast 1 vote. Do it again tomorrow. Your identity isn't pre-made. It's malleable. You have a choice. You can choose which identity you want to strengthen, starting with your next action. So, who do you want to be? And what little vote can you cast right now to start becoming that person? Now we understand why systems and identities are more important than motivation. The next question is, how? How do we build a system of discipline that works in the real world? James Clear has distilled the complex science of human behavior into a surprisingly simple and elegant framework. He calls it the 4 laws of behavior change. These 4 laws are your practical toolkit for building good habits and breaking bad ones. They are based on a 4-step loop that our brains follow: cue, craving, response, and reward. Break it down. Rule number 1, make it obvious. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. If you want to create a morning workout habit, lay out your workout clothes next to your bed the night before. The cue should be obvious. Conversely, if you want to break a snacking habit, make it invisible. Put the snacks out of sight. Don't rely on willpower. Practice design your environment. Rule 2, make it compelling. We are more likely to repeat a behavior if we find it compelling. A powerful technique is temptation compounding. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For example, after I meditate for 10 minutes, habit I need, I will watch my favorite show on Netflix, habit I want. You can also join a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. When you surround yourself with people who make exercise look fun, it becomes more compelling. Rule 3, make it easy. Human behavior follows the law of least effort. We always gravitate toward the easiest option. Instead of trying to start with an hour-long workout, follow the 2-minute rule. Any new habit should start with a version that takes less than 2 minutes to do. Want to read a book every day? Start by reading 1 page. Want to do yoga? Start by rolling out your yoga mat. Make it so easy to start that you can't say no. Habits must be established before they can be improved. And rule 4, make it satisfying. This is the cardinal rule. What is immediately rewarded will be repeated. What is immediately punished will be avoided. The problem is that many good habits have delayed rewards. You exercise today, but you won't be in shape tomorrow. So you need to find a way to give yourself an immediate reward. A habit tracker is a great way to do this. Every time you complete your habit, put a big X on the calendar. That X is a little bit of immediate gratification. It is visual evidence of your progress. It shows you are keeping your promises to yourself. Never break the chain. Clear, compelling, easy, satisfying. That is the formula for building discipline. Not by gritting your teeth, but by designing a smarter system that helps you succeed. Pick a habit you want to build and apply these 4 rules. Start small and watch the discipline take root. There is a moment in every journey of change, a moment that can be the most challenging. It is when you are doing all the right things. You are following your system. You're voting for your new identity. You're consistent. But you're not seeing results. You've been eating healthy for 2 weeks, but the scale hasn't budged. You've been writing every day, but your book just doesn't seem to be making progress. You've been saving money, but financial freedom is still a long way off. This is where most people give up. They fall into what James Clear calls the plateau of hidden potential. We often expect progress to be linear. We think that if we put in the effort, we'll see the corresponding results immediately. But that's not the case. In fact, the most powerful results of any cumulative process are delayed. Imagine you're in a cold room. It's 4 degrees Celsius. You start to turn up the temperature. 3 degrees, 2 degrees, 1 degree. Still nothing. The rock is still the rock. Then you hit 0 degrees. And suddenly, a phase shift occurs. The water starts to melt. All that work you did from 4 to 1 degrees wasn't wasted. It was storing energy. It was building potential. And then, when the time is right, the breakthrough happens. This is discipline. Discipline is believing in the work you're doing, even when you don't see results yet. It's the patience to keep working on your system day after day, trusting that your efforts are building beneath the surface. Motivation wants results now. Motivation wants to see big, dramatic change. Discipline, on the other hand, understands the power of persistence. It understands that success isn't an overnight event. It's the product of daily habits. So if you're on that plateau right now, if you're feeling discouraged because your progress seems to have plateaued, take a deep breath. Remember the rock. Remember that your consistent actions are storing up energy for your next breakthrough. Don't give up on your system just because you haven't seen the results you expected. Time amplifies the gap between success and failure. It multiplies whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Trust the process yourself. Fall in love with the tedium of showing up every day. Keep casting those little votes for who you want to be. Because real change, lasting change, doesn't come from a single moment of inspiration. It comes from hundreds, thousands of tiny disciplined actions compounded over time to create an extraordinary life. You're not just building a habit, you're building yourself. And it's a process worth committing to.